So what's better, Glock or Sig Sauer? A lot of people want to know. I'm going to tell you right now my opinion. My name is Jason Hanson. I'm a former CIA officer. I'm the New York Times bestselling author of Spy Secrets That Can Save Your Life. And I own a lot of guns. I've carried a lot of guns all throughout my life. My first job out of college was as a police officer, and then I joined the CIA, and then went into the private security sector, and I still carry concealed daily.
Please welcome back former CIA officer Jason Hanson.
Former CIA Jason Hanson.
This handsome fella is Jason Hanson.
Okay. This is Jason Hanson, former CIA guy.
So when it comes to Glock versus Sig, I'm going to let you in on a dirty little secret right now. There is a reason most government people, meaning perhaps former CIA, perhaps Navy SEALs, perhaps FBI, perhaps anybody in former government law enforcement or government law enforcement loves Glock. The dirty little secret is because that's what we're issued. That's what we carry. We don't know any better. We don't have any choices. So people love the Glock. Again, name Navy SEALs or all kinds of people, intelligence operatives, etc., because that's what we were issued. That was the gun we had to have. Now, Glock, clearly, they operate well. They're not going to fall apart on you. They're not a piece of junk. They're not, some $50 gun. However, guess what? I'm not a huge Glock fan. If somebody said you could have a Glock or a Sig Sauer, I would take a Sig Sauer any day of the week. Again, when I left the agency, when I left my past life behind, and I realized, there's other girls in the dance. So this Glock here is not the only fish in the sea. And you start realizing there's all these other guns that I could try out, that I can test, that I can use. And once you do that, you realize Glock isn't everything that it is. Now, of course, I know there are Glock fanboys. I know there are going to be people who are watching this who are going to say this is blasphemy, send me all kinds of nasty messages, and I don't mind because guess what? I've carried guns in most places, and more places than most people ever have. I've carried guns in all kinds of situations. And all I care about is what is the best gun to give me the best opportunity to protect myself, protect my family, protect whatever I'm protecting in that specific instance. And again, I would go with Sig. And it doesn't matter what Sig. So Glock 19, again, good gun, right? And if somebody says to me, hey, I don't want to have to worry about deciding what gun, I don't want to have to go to a guns range and run a bunch of guns, I say Glock 19. It's simple, easy to use for somebody who's never going to practice, for somebody who doesn't want to be bothered with going to a shooting range and trying a bunch of guns. Yes, Glock 19. However, if you're going to practice, if you want a gun that is better ergonomically, if you want a gun that has a much better trigger, there's a million guns out there, including Sig. So, for instance, I own a Sig Sauer P250, I own a P320, I own a Sig Sauer P226. Right here in my pocket right now, this is one of the pocket guns I carry. This is a Sig Sauer P365. And the reason I don't love Glock is because the ergonomics aren't great, so it's not a natural pointing gun, whereas a 1911 or other guns are much more natural pointing. Also, in addition to that, the trigger's terrible. So I got a lot of guys who say, oh, Glocks are the best, and I see their Glocks, and they've spent another $1,000 upgrading their Glock. So it's not a stock Glock. So they've put in a good trigger. They put in new guide rods. They've done all these, added all the bells and whistles, where with other guns, you don't have to do that. I would rather have my Walther Creed or my Walther PPQ or my Smith & Wesson M&P or my Remington RP9, which is the redhead stepchild of guns, doesn't give enough respect, but the Remington RP9 is a great gun, great trigger. I would much rather have any of those other guns because I love the ergonomics better, I love the triggers better. So when it comes to Sig Sauer, if somebody said, hey Jason, there's a Glock 19, and I got one of my Glock 19s here, because I do own them. I do a lot of training. So when I'm training people, I have plenty of guns for them to choose from. Somebody said, hey, you can use this Glock 19 tonight, or heck, I'll even say this. You can use this Sig Sauer P365 tonight, and you are guaranteed to have a home invasion. You're going to be woken up at 3 a.m. This is going to be in your nightstand in a rapid access safe, which is how my guns are. And so what would you like? Would you like to have the Glock 19, or would you like to have the Sig Sauer 365 to be exact? And I know, again, you're going to go crazy and think it's blasphemy. I would rather have the Sig Sauer, even the 365, which is a smaller gun, which doesn't hold as many rounds, because I'm more accurate with it. I shoot it better. It's more natural pointing. I like the ergonomics. I'm much more comfortable coming out, getting a good line of sight, knowing, hey, I'm gonna hit my threats. Whereas the Glocks, when I left the agency, I shot expert. So I can shoot these bad boys, but they're just not as favorable. If I have a million guns out there, if I don't work for the government anymore, meaning I get to choose what gun, don't I want the gun that feels the most natural pointing? Don't I want the gun that feels the best in my hand? Don't I want the gun which I believe confidently that I'm gonna have the highest accuracy of hitting my threat and stopping what I'm shooting? Obviously I do. So, whereas there's no perfect gun for everybody, I always recommend go to the gun store, rent a ton of different guns. Don't let the gun store employee tell you what you should get, or your husband, because I train a lot of women. Find out what is most comfortable for you. Maybe it's not gonna be semi-auto, maybe it's gonna be a revolver, but whatever it is, it's the gun you're most comfortable with. So when it comes to Sig Sauer versus Glock, I go with Sig Sauer. All those Glock fanboys, sorry to disappoint you, but you've probably never been in hairy situations. You've probably never spent as much time using this bad boy. And maybe you didn't test out as many guns because you've got to try a bunch of other guns. So like I said, realize there's other girls at the dance. That's all I got to say about that. If you want to know more gun stuff, if you want to know more personal protection information, make sure and click below. You're going to find some very valuable information. I am former CIA officer Jason Hanson. I'm holding a Glock 19, which is a good gun. Nothing wrong with it, but not my favorite gun. So like, subscribe, turn on that ring notification. I got a lot more coming your way. Have a wonderful rest of the day.